Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome back and thank you for joining me. As I said in my little teaser video last week, I am doing the month of March on the matriarchs in my life and the food and the wines surrounding my memories of them. As I said previously, in the UK, Mother's Day is on Sunday the 14th of March, so hence matriarchs. The wines I'm featuring this month are from South Africa, and that's, as I may have mentioned before, my mother is from South Africa. She came to Canada when she was 16 with her family, and matriarchs, so hence that's what we're doing. So today it is Chenin Blanc from Swartland Vineyards, and the food that I'll be trying to pair it with and cooking for you all is pierogies. And pierogies I am choosing to do because my grandmother on my dad's side was from Poland. Well, we're not sure where, to be honest. So she was in her late 90s when she passed away in the early 2000s, and early to mid 2000s actually, and we know that her family came from Prussia. Obviously Prussia doesn't exist, and we know she spoke Polish fluently and understood Ukraine as well. So she's from that area, and one of my fondest memories of my grandmother is her bringing pierogies all the time. Every time she'd come to the family for dinners and that, she'd come with a care kit for my dad, and it was pierogies, kielbasa, I think that's what it's called, and in the spring, summer, she loved her vegetable garden. She had a lovely, lovely garden. Rhubarb. I always have rhubarb in my head, and pierogies. So, in honor of my grandmother, I'm going to attempt to make for the first time ever pierogies. It's a very involved process. I don't think baking is necessarily my strong suit. So we will see how it goes, and we will see what it tastes like. The wine that we are going to be tasting is Chenin Blanc from the Swartland Vineyard, which I have right here. So this is a South African wine producer. They are in the Western Cape area of South Africa, and they've been around for over 70 years. Chenin Blanc is a popular grape variety, particularly in South Africa. It's easy to grow there. It likes a cool, moderate climate, and in the Western Cape, you've got the cool breeze coming off from the Atlantic Ocean. Hence, it's a popular variety of grape to plant there. It produces Shiraz, Pinotage, and Chenin Blanc is the Swartland Vineyard. That's their main grape varieties that are produced. And food that the Chenin Blanc can go with are salads, fish, chicken. If it's a bit sweeter, then you would be good with a pate, a creamy chicken, or something like a pork. The other thing is that I thought, because it's such a versatile grape to drink anyway, and it's quite an easy drinking wine, I thought, well, what's it going to taste like with a pierogi? And a pierogi, for the most part, is quite a simple thing. The fillings are simple. They're sauerkraut and onions, or sauerkraut and potatoes and soft cheese like ricotta. So let's see what that tastes like. But before that, obviously, what does it taste like the Chenin Blanc before? So let's pour and find out. One thing I should tell you guys, I tend to make notes beforehand because I get really nervous doing these. So I sort of make my tasty notes in advance sometimes, just to make sure I don't miss anything and I'm giving you guys the best. So we've got the wine, and I've got my WSET card here because I do live off of it at the moment. I couldn't tell you it all off by heart at all. And if you look at the appearance, to me the appearance is pale in intensity, lemon in color, nose. So this is interesting. I have drunk some of this already, as you can see. We had a bit of it earlier. So yesterday when I attempted my first set of notes, I thought it was a bit chemically, but I don't get that at all this time. I get still green apples, very green. And yesterday when I did the tasting on my own, I had the taste of mangoes and mango smell, very tangy, that tangy smell. But I don't smell that today. Today I actually just smell green apples, pineapple, a little bit of the mangoes, and what's it taste like now though? It's actually quite soft now. Definitely green apples. Pineapple, I still taste that. Alcohol, I'd say, is medium. The flavor intensity is medium. The finish is medium. The sweetness is still, I think it's off dry. It's actually a nice wine. I would say it's an acceptable wine. In the conclusions, when you look at the quality on the WSET, you've got poor, acceptable, good, very good, or outstanding. I haven't, look, remember, I'm a novice. You're going through the novice journey with me, and as I become an expert, you will become an expert. But I think it's an acceptable wine, and I think it'd be great with a barbecue, and the sun is shining here in the UK, and spring is on its way, so this would be a nice wine to bring at a dinner party in the spring and summer, I think. But the question is, as I always say, how does it taste with the dumplings? Step 1. Saute the onions, parboil the potatoes, deskin the potatoes, and dice and mash. So I've mixed the mashed potato, basically, and the onions. So the thing that I'm doing is sauteed onions with potatoes and cheese. Now normally you'd use a soft cheese, but I'm going to give it a go with UK extra mature cheddar. So I'm going to mix all that, put it aside for the moment, and then I'm going to start doing the dough. So that's step 3 coming up. Step 3, 2 cups of flour. Make a well. This is where this might all go wrong. Like I said, I'm either going to be hugely successful at this, or it's going to be an epic fail. So make a well. And then take a beaten egg, pour it in. Apparently, this is not going to work. I'm so nervous. And then a little bit of water. So I've got the lukewarm water here, and we're going to add it a little bit at a time. Okay. This is it, guys. Is this gonna work? I think I need to fold over. There, let's just do that. And I need to fold it in, and we shall see. Oh, it seems to be doing something. Right. So this is, needs a bit more water, see? A little bit at a time. And we do that, and we repeat until I get a nice thick mixture of dough. And then I can break it in half and start kneading. How's that going on? Let's see. This is so nervous wracking for me. Ooh. Don't know if you can see it, but it's working. I'm kneading it. And soon I'll be able to put it in a bowl, into a shape of a ball, and then I can divide it. So actually, so far, so good. I haven't caulked up yet. Woohoo! Very excited by that. My grandma will be looking down and quite impressed, I hope. Well, I'm sure she will, actually. All right, let's continue this for a couple more minutes. So far, so good. I've done it. 2 bowls, and now I've got to let it rest for 20 minutes. Right, okay, so now I've let it rest for 20 minutes, and I've just taken out a little piece with some flour and a rolling pin. And I'm just going to make one now for you guys so that we can test it. Use either a glass or a cookie cutter, round cookie cutter for the pierogies. And then take some of the filling. So I think traditionally the filling you'd use for Polish pierogies is sauerkraut. I did go looking for sauerkraut, and to be perfectly honest with you, I couldn't find any of the ones I liked. Take a little bit of water just to dab the edges. About a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon for the filling, and then fold it in, and then dab at the side. I'm going to use a fork as well just to make sure. Now you can oven cook these for about 8 minutes. You can also boil them. So there it is there. So a pierogi with potatoes, onions and cheese filling. And what does it taste like? And so far I'm really impressed with myself. I've actually done it. I think that's going to be all right. Just to give you a bit of context about me. So I'm going to do this pierogi now. And then we'll taste it with the Chenin Blanc and see how it is. But just to give you a little bit of context, my interest in wine came from actually getting a job and working in the wine industry, which I'm still doing. It's been an eye-opener, learning different tastes and developing the taste. It's been really cool, and I really enjoyed it. But I was most intrigued about wine and how wine can make food taste better, and vice versa, to be honest with you. They do go hand in hand. They're partners in crime, and you don't know that unless you've sort of taken the time to learn it, or unless it's been put upon you, right? So that's hot. I'm going to do that. So you can also fry the pierogies, which I'm doing, and I have no idea how this is going to go. But so far I've been all right, so I'm really hoping my success continues. But we'll find out. But also previously, I've grown up loving food and being a bit of a foodie, to be honest with you. When I was young, we used to go home to my house for lunch in elementary school, and we'd go, and my mom was a nurse, so she did a lot of shift work. So there was nobody ever at home during the day sometimes, or she'd do night shifts. And my dad was working a lot too in the office and that. And I'd go and make my own food because I didn't want to be at school. I didn't like the school food, so I would go and do that. And my friends would all come. And invariably to this day, my friend who's 12 years old, who was 12 years old when I've known her since I was 12, has still said the one thing she remembers the most is going to my house for lunch, and I'd make everybody cinnamon toast for lunch. And that came about with me rummaging in the cupboards, looking for something to make, and I couldn't find anything. So I said, "Ooh, let's, here, look at this." And we didn't have Google back then. We didn't have anything. I thought, I think this will work. And so I made it. And obviously it's something that's been done anyway, so it's not like it was a big secret but I discovered it for myself that day. And that's sort of how it came across. Also, because my mom would do shift work, she'd be sleeping sometimes. So I just was like, well, I'm very proactive, just get on with it. Later on in life, I did do a diploma in cooking. And I was going to do a catering business, but then I had a child and that sort of just took priority, which is fine. But then again, later on again, in another phase of life is full of phases, I discovered wine. And this is where sort of things have kind of come full circle now, is putting these things all together. So we're cooking that. We're going to see how it goes. I think my grandmother would be very proud. I would have liked to have done it traditionally with sauerkraut, but I couldn't find any sauerkraut that I liked. I find with COVID in some of the big grocery stores, a lot of things are not in stock these days. And I find it also really hard to find good produce at the moment. I don't know how everybody else feels like that here in the UK, but I do find the one thing I thought that I'd be able to have is carrots, for instance. Just raw carrots with hummus. But I found they're rubbish at the moment. And I've had to go to different areas to try and get them. I just want some carrots and hummus to nibble on because I'm trying to be healthy. So I've been pan frying this for a minute or two. I think it needs a bit longer, but I don't like how it's getting so brown, but let's see. It's all right. Can you see what I'm doing? You can't actually. Here I am talking and you can't even see what I'm doing. There, I'm moving it around. While I'm doing this, I'll tell you that for next week, we're obviously sticking with the matriarchs in my life, and we have a South African wine coming up again, and I'm going to be pairing it with, and I am going to say this wrong, and all my family is going to say, that's wrong, cook sisters, that's it. I think, and they're basically sweet donuts, and I'm going to try and pair it with a Chardonnay. In fact, I shall show you the bottle that I am pairing it with. I am pairing it with this bottle, Chardonnay and a Viognier, and I'll be doing that next week with Cook Sisters. I don't know. I really don't know if I said it right. So that's right. That looks ready. I'm really nervous about this one. How did it go? How does it taste? There you go. My first pierogi in honor of my grandmother. And how does it taste? First of all, have I cooked it? Ooh. You know, it looks all good. And it's melted lovely. How does it taste with the wine? Let's see. Chenin Blanc. I might pour a bit more. It's getting a bit more on that one. And pierogies. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Epic fail? Or phenomenal and stunning? Let's see. The pierogies are nice. Yes, I did it. Woohoo! I'm really proud of myself for that. I miss my grandmothers. I miss my grandparents. I really miss my grandmothers because the whole house would congregate around the kitchen, cooking and hanging out. Not Grandma Anne so much, but she'd always, you know, be there and come with gifts, and that's why I like the whole food and wine pairing process, because it's all about sharing and giving, and it always circulates around a conversation with people and family and friends. All right, so how does this taste with the wine now? It tastes nice. It tastes really nice. Take some of that acidity, strength away, and it tastes a bit sweeter. I like it. That's really nice. So, Chenin Blanc does all right with pierogies. And, wow, I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's anything you want to see or for me to try out, do let me know. And I'll see you guys again next week when I do Chardonnay and Viognier. It's a blend with, and I am saying it wrong, basically it's sweet donuts from South Africa, but it's Cook Sisters. I don't know, I'm saying it wrong. My family will tell me, and I will hopefully be pronouncing it right when I see you next time. Thanks, and have a fab weekend.